back everyone, and it's time to go Gol D! Alright guys, we are back at it again in our journey to One Piece. So get ready and put your straw hats on. Just the other day, right, I was looking through our old videos and I found a video on Yusuf. And boy, oh boy. Are you guys ready for our cringe?
No.
Like seriously, get ready. Yusuf's cringe, bruh.
Yeah man, let's get ready for work, bro. Right. What's this? Bro, I'm Luffy, bro. Look at me. Gamu gamu no pistol.
See, we embarrassed ourselves just for you guys, just to show you how much we care about this damn series. We haven't been covering One Piece for some time, but honestly, One Piece has been in our hearts for over 15 years just like Naruto. We obviously have to prove to you guys that we got some solid content lined up, so just give us a chance. I don't blame you guys for gatekeeping. Like, I get it. Why would you trust a content creator if they haven't proved to know what they are talking about? But from our track record, I'm sure you guys know me by now. Let me just check the poll and the community tab where I asked you.
12 seconds later.
Wait, what? You degenerates really showed your freaking true colors, man. You really don't want us to cover One Piece? I still see a shadow. On top of that, looking at the comments, a lot of you don't even know basic maths. Just look at this. It's truly embarrassing.
You idiot. You're honestly an idiot.
Anyway, more than 50% of you did say yes, so we are going to do One Piece on a weekly basis. With every series we cover, we gained a new power. You guys know that. Man's got Balls Deep Prediction Quirk, Magic, Breath, Technique, but now it's time to munch on that Balls Deep Devil Fruit. We hopefully have collaborations down the pipeline with other One Piece YouTubers such as Grand Line Review, Ohara, and more, which means you must hit the notification bell for our channel. Today, your host is Yusuf, and he will be proving today our knowledge and expertise on One Piece, more specifically about why more specifically about why Luffy will become the Pirate King based upon previous events.
Okay, but seriously guys, this video is a continuation to our End of One Piece series where I go over how One Piece will conclude. In this video, I'm going to break down why Luffy will be the next Pirate King, or as I like to say, why Luffy is already the Pirate King. I'll explain what I mean in a bit, but first let me clarify what I mean by Pirate King. As one would think, we understand it to be a pirate who completely sailed the sea. Roger was the first to do this, crossing the Uncharted and find the final and last island, which he named Laugh Tale, and subsequently uncovering the mysteries of the world, including all the lost history with future prophecies. The term Pirate King was then given to Roger because of this recognition. However, for the newer generation, Pirate King entails being the one who succeeds Roger and finds what he left behind, the One Piece, ultimately possessing wealth, fame, and power. However, as we all know, that doesn't really necessitate kingship, especially as a pirate, Big Mom and Kaido being great examples. Rather, a more accurate definition of a Pirate King was given by Luffy during his conversation with Rayleigh, which is to be the freest in the entire sea and effectively the world, to literally have zero restrictions whatsoever, not by any authority and not by the sea itself. This goes back to a previous video explaining what One Piece is and how the All Blue is one of the end goals. The only way to achieve All Blue is to control the Grand Line and break the Red Line so all seas can connect, allowing a greater form of freedom. We believe that this was also Joy Boy's goal from 800 years ago. However, this goal was met with resistance, but Luffy will achieve it in the end, showcasing that Luffy is in some ways the reincarnation of Joy Boy's will, along with being the prophesized return of Joy Boy. I'm actually making a separate video covering this, so remember to ding that notification button so you are notified when I put it out. Also, if you guys have no idea what I'm talking about, make sure to check out our The End of One Piece video, which I have pinned in the comment section below, so we are all on the same page. Now, as I mentioned earlier, one could even say that Luffy is already the Pirate King, or at least a Pirate King, with the way he conducts himself along with having certain qualities which determines this sort of kingship. All Luffy needs is now to be recognized by the world, which can only be done through showcasing achievements. But some of these kingship qualities I'm talking about were explored by characters from the series. For instance, possessing Conqueror's Haki is a sign of having the quality of a king. This was mentioned throughout by Rayleigh, Boa Hancock, even Treble Ball back in chapter 782, who stated that Conqueror's Haki means that you are chosen by the heavens. However, the biggest determining factor is Luffy's will and personality. Right from the get-go, he sets out to the sea as someone who is free from the shackles of society and authority. His freeness even extends to those around him, being a huge influence to not just his friends but entire nations. Luffy's freedom is embodied so strongly that he becomes a liberator of others. We see this from the very start of his journey, freeing Kobe from the pirate Almeida, then instilling the boy to follow his dreams of joining the navy. Right after, Luffy then frees Zoro, pushing him further to achieve his dreams of becoming the greatest swordsman. He frees Nami from Arlong, Usopp from his life of lies to set out on his dream of adventures, Sanji from his guilt of serving his savior and foster father to fulfill his goal of all blue, Chopper to become a great doctor embodying Hiriluk's ideology. This goes on for every character. It doesn't just stop with people, it extends to entire nations. Luffy spread his freedom by liberating Konomi Island from Arlong pirates, Alabasta from Crocodile, Fishman Island from Hodi's rebellion and Big Mom's control, Dressrosa from Doffy, and again we can go on. Luffy fought these oppressors for the sake of others because he believed in himself to be the Pirate King, along with its concept of true freedom. Like, let's even take what happened in Sabaody Archipelago with the Celestial Dragons for example. When Luffy arrived at the slave auction and saw the inhumane things done to the slaves. Slavery is the literal embodiment of the opposition to what Luffy strives for, and Luffy was the only one with the balls to do something. He gave the Celestial Dragon one of the most satisfying punch in all of anime, even with the grave consequences this could have. Law and Kid were also present in the audience, who didn't particularly agree with the morals of this auction. However, they didn't act or make any moves. These up-and-coming big shot pirates thought with their heads, seeing what would be the advantages and what would not, only acting if they have something to gain, whereas Luffy's actions is based on his ideals, and seeing others hurt and oppressed is his crossing point. We could even see the seeds of this being planted from the very beginning, as during the Jaya Island arc, Luffy and Zoro get mocked, then beaten by Bellamy and his crew for looking for Sky Island. Bellamy didn't believe in his dreams and saw things like Sky Island and the existence of One Piece as similar to an unrealistic fantasy. However, Luffy and Zoro did not fight back, the reasoning being that it wasn't worth fighting for, similar to what we saw with Shanks and the bandits earlier on in the series. And if we look at one of Luffy's counterpart in the story, who has a similar goal to find the One Piece and be Pirate King, Eustace Kid, him and his crew were said to have a higher bounty than Luffy. If anyone mocked him or his dreams, the Kid pirates would straight up kill them and cause mayhem. Whereas Luffy only acted against Bellamy, where he had beaten his friend Noland to near death and stole his possessions. This caused Luffy to rage out and put Bellamy in his place. This shows us a stark contrast to Kid or any other pirates, where they would have acted out as soon as someone mocked them. However, Luffy displays the quality of a king, only fighting back when his friend got hurt. We also see Luffy having extraordinary leadership skills, where everyone just trusts in him, which is usually defeating the antagonist of that arc. Everyone just believes in Luffy to lead them to victory and that he won't fail. There are multiple examples of this, like with Crocodile or in Enies lobby, Luffy went straight for Rob Bellucci and succeeded in defeating him. Or how about in the Whole Cake Island, where everyone including Bege trusted in Luffy to deal with Katakuri all on his own, returning victorious. Even in chapter 1015, when the Straw Hats found out that Luffy had been thrown down the sea defeated by Kaido, they still trusted in him to find a way to get over this adversity, as Sanji comforts Chopper that Luffy is their captain and he will still win. Luffy always finds a way to get over his hurdles, leading to countless victories. Luffy, in his pursuit to become Pirate King and to be the freest man in the entire sea, Luffy has become a liberator. And even with each of his liberation and having some sort of control, which is to be expected by a king, Luffy still remains free, unlike a normal king would. Like an example being Nefertari Cobra, who has a responsibility over his kingdom, hence becoming limited. Luffy, however, after his liberation, he leaves behind a bit of his own freedom and influences a sense of independence, igniting a fire to the people. He then leaves, freeing himself of any authority over them. This is showcased again and again. Like when Bartholomew arranged Luffy's Grand Fleet, Luffy wasn't interested in it one bit, so they ended up deciding that they will follow him whenever he needs help, without being tied to him. Luffy is always free, with just his small merry-go nakamas. So now at this point, you should understand how Luffy already embodies the Pirate King spirit of being free, being the freest man in the sea. With that, we need to move on to some similarities between Luffy and Roger, as this is kind of somewhat important, because Roger is the only constant we can use, being he's the only Pirate King we know to exist. So the first glaring similarities these two share share is their name. Yes, both Roger and Luffy have the initial D in their name. The letter D in one's name means that they carry the will of D, or as Rosinante put in chapter 763, that the ones who carry the will of D will always end up causing a storm in the world. Someone with the will of D always ends up going against the establishment or becomes a rebel of some sort. From Haguara D Sol, a Marine Vice Admiral saving Nico Robin, to Monkey D Dragon fighting against the Marines and the world government as the leader of the revolutionaries. They are all trying to break away from their shackles that restrict their freedom in their own ways. Roger and Luffy are similar in this, as both not only strive for complete freedom but also defied the world's taboos by wanting to sail around the Grand Line. Moving on, let's talk about all the instances in One Piece where Luffy literally embodies the spirit of Gol D Roger. The first instance where this happens is in episode 48. Luffy visits a bar where he finds an old man who informs him of Roger's time as a young man. Luffy then goes to share his own aspiration to become the Pirate King. After hearing this, the old man is in shock, feeling as though he can see a young Roger sitting in place of Luffy. This theme follows throughout the series, from those who met Roger later finding huge resemblance to Luffy. Like in episode 52, Buggy had strung Luffy on the guillotine, just like Roger had 22 years prior. Luffy is about to be cut down, yet he smiles in the face of death, just like Roger did. Smoker, whilst watching this happen from below, sees the image of Roger in Luffy, similar to the day he himself watched Roger being executed. The next biggest example of Luffy embodying the previous Pirate King is when he said the exact same words as Roger did. In a canon OVA, we see Roger and his crew up against the Golden Lion's Shiki's armada of ships. Shiki gives Roger the proposition to join his crew and conquer the world together. However, Roger declines the offer by stating that he doesn't want to conquer anything and that he just wants to do as he pleases, because that's what being a pirate means. Now, Luffy basically says the exact same thing as Roger did during his first meeting with Rayleigh, when Rayleigh warns Luffy about the dangers of the new world and tells him how the enemies he will encounter will be tougher than anything he has faced before. So will he be able to conquer them and the entire Grand Line? And guess what Luffy replies with? The exact same thing as Roger. He says that he doesn't want to conquer anything, and to be the Pirate King means to be the freest person on the sea. Just as Luffy says these words, Rayleigh is once again reminded of his captain, Roger. You could even see this instance as a test by Rayleigh to Luffy to see if Luffy is actually worthy of becoming the Pirate King. Next, let's talk about the straw hat. Roger and Luffy both wear the same straw hat that was passed down by Roger to Shanks, then to Luffy. This hat was passed down to Shanks by Roger after he disbanded his crew, which could be seen as passing off the baton to the next generation, a symbol to keep the ideals and will of the previous owner alive. Similarly, Luffy is also supposed to return that straw hat back to Shanks after he has become a great pirate, being above and stronger than Shanks, meaning the Pirate King, as that's the only thing that's above a Yonko. Now, some in the community also sees this straw hat as a crown of a sort, the crown of the one who is truly free, which, as I said many times, means to be the Pirate King. Now, I could go on a tangent about this for another solid 10 minutes, but this ain't an idle video, so I'll make a separate theory about this.
Hey yo, what the fuck?
All in all, like I said, Luffy is already a Pirate King by nature, the freest pirate in essence. However, if he is a Pirate King, then why isn't he the Pirate King? Well, that's all down to recognition. Titles such as this are always given by people around you. Think about it. The first instance of the Pirate King is seen in the news, which went worldwide. After Roger sailed around the Grand Line, the news spread recognizing his feats and giving him his title. Roger wasn't looking to become the Pirate King, he just wanted to reach the final island. It was truly the news and others who saw him as the Pirate King. If news and public perception means everything, then Luffy is already on the right track. Like our boy is favored by Big News Morgan, who is the president of the World Economy newspaper that is distributed around the world. And as we saw in chapter 903, Morgan's admiration for Luffy swayed his report about what happened on the Whole Cake Island, exaggerating his accomplishments against Big Mom, effectively dubbing Luffy the 5th Emperor after he successfully destroyed Big Mom's tea party and her cake. Like what? My man is already the 5th Emperor. Well, that's because of public perception. We also know that after Luffy's involvement in the Summit War, his overall notoriety went up, with the public revelation of him being the son of the infamous Monkey D Dragon and the brother to the son of the previous Pirate King Gol D Roger. In the end, Luffy will fulfill all of the public requirements to be recognized of what he really is. But the final straw, no pun intended, will be the recognition of the world government. Luffy already has 2 red poneglyphs, boats, the closest in the world to reaching the final island, and he will achieve his goals to find One Piece, then continue his adventures following the will of D, completing Joy Boy's dreams. Once the world government realizes that Luffy is really above a Yonko and is fulfilling the very thing that they are afraid of, then Luffy and the Straw Hats will be deemed the #1 public enemy. His bounty will end up becoming something which is unrivaled. Luffy's journey of liberating those around him will end up giving him such support that it will seem as though the world government is actually going to be fighting the world itself. So at the end of the day, Luffy will become the Pirate King. We all know this. This is as certain as it was when Naruto became Hokage. Whenever a protagonist of a shonen says he will do something or become something, it will materialize into existence. Not only because, you know, the writers write it that way, but because, like in our own world, this follows the law of attraction. You can actually think something into existence. The more you say something, the more it becomes a reality. Obviously, you do have to put the work in. I really would recommend everyone reading about the law of attraction and try to live by it. It truly works. When me and Ardal started this YouTube channel back in 2014, we believed in it and what we were doing. We visualized what we wanted. We had a lot of hurdles across the way, but we never gave up and persevered. And now we are here. This logic really applies to everything in life. If you want something, then think it. Process what steps you need to do, believe that you already have it, and then live it. I don't know how this turned out to be some kind of self-help video, but honestly, this is what One Piece, along with a lot of other animes, is to us. But with that, I hope you guys understand why our boy Luffy is going to be Pirate King. I wanted to go on and talk about Luffy possessing the voice of all things, but you guys will have to watch that in our next video, where I'll explain how this will assist him in his journey to complete Joy Boy's dream. With that, I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't. Till then, I'll catch you lot next time.